Welcome back to another video, and today we're reviewing Catrice's Spring and Winter Edit products for 2025. Welcome back, and today we are doing a review of Catrice's Winter Spring 2025 update. So Catrice and their sister brand Essence, they have a habit that they do limited edition launches all around the year that are smaller, and then they do 2 times a year these bigger sort of updates where they bring more or less like staple line products. However, I'm using staple line quite loosely because Catrice and Essences are those inexpensive drugstore brands that they do have quite quick, quick cycle with the product. So products that are sort of stable products can actually mean that they might keep them within their line like only maybe a year or so, and then they will do something new. I obviously didn't get anything because with these updates there's usually tons of stuff, and for example, this year both Essence and Catrice's updates, they had like lip products and a lot of these sort of lip glosses or lip butters or balms that have been very trendy, but I got picked out sort of products that I was interested in. So with base products, we are today going to be reviewing these two. So I did buy the Serum concealer and then this sort of a foundation or cream highlighter stick, depending on how you want to use this. I'll be discussing a bit more in detail once I get to the review part how I've been using this one. Then with cheek products, I did end up getting 2 ones. So there was the liquid contour and then one of their new blushes. This I have always said that is one of my like sort of most recommended drugstore blush, and they brought out in 2 new shades, and I got this sort of pale peachy one to review. Then with eyes, I did end up getting the Dark Cocoa eyeshadow palette. This is actually, with one of the demo looks you will be seeing in the photos, is actually this look that I'm wearing today. So with this one you will be, as always, seeing 3 looks and swatches, because I did manage to make 3 looks with this one, even though this is a smaller palette. And lastly, with lips, I did end up getting 1 lip product. So it was this kind of double-sided. There's an lip liner one end and a lipstick on the other end, and I'm actually like wearing full face of these products today, so you're kind of able to see how these look in real life. And yeah, I think those were the sort of product overview I wanted to show you. And let's now first start, as always, with the base products, and then we go to cheeks and then eyes, and then lastly I'll show one of the lip products. Okay, so as I said, I am wearing full face of basically all of these products that you just saw, so let's first go to the sort of base products, and I'll first start with the concealer. So this is the Serum concealer. Mine is in the shade, what was this one? Was it 001? I'm trying to actually see. I'm gonna put it to the, okay, now I found the shade. So 010C. So this is actually the same shade that I've been in other Catrice concealers that I've tried before. So this is a more cool tone version. They did have lighter shades than this one, but the lighter shades that were available, the undertones of them, like one of them I think was a cool undertone shade, but I thought that would already be like maybe too white even for my skin tone, so that's why I picked out the same shade that I have picked out in their other concealers. This is definitely a more lighter coverage concealer. I think you might be able to see that this is definitely not in the full coverage realm. However, I'm not actually that mad about it, because as I have discussed before in my videos, I'm someone in my 30s, so these sort of very heavy, thick concealers are something that I can't, for example, anymore do, even though I do like having coverage under my eyes. Something that I would say with this one, that it is a bit more like because it's a serum concealer, then it's a bit thinner consistency, but I definitely felt that I had to powder this one down, because I did feel that without powder this did have a habit of creasing. So I think that if you suffer from extremely dry skin, this still might not be that good for you. If you have a dry skin and you're able to find a setting powder that isn't drying under your eyes, then in combination with this one, then they, I think, will work together really well. But if you're someone who can't do any powder under their eyes, then I would not go with this one, because unfortunately I do feel that this kind of needs the powder for it to settle down. But I have been liking this for my preferences. This has been a very good concealer. I have been suffering now from a drier skin, which is very rare for me, because my whole life I've been more oily in skin, so that has been something to get used to. But for me, even though I've been suffering from dryness, I have been able to make this work. Okay, then this stick one. So what did they actually call this? This was the Soft Glam filter stick. I think this is meant to dupe the Charlotte Tilbury's Flawless Filter stick version that she came out with during, I think, last year. So I'm wearing this currently in combination with the concealer. I'm actually gonna pop in the picture. If you watched my makeup news video from last week, I actually wore this sort of stick alone just for testing purposes, but I'm still gonna pop in the picture on the side so you can kind of see how this looks still on its own if you haven't seen the makeup news video. This is something that's not definitely probably meant for my skin type, even though I actually thought that I might actually be able to pull this out because, as I said, I've been suffering from a drier skin. However, I do feel that because the base of this, it's so... You can feel that it's kind of like almost a bit oily when you touch this and you feel what kind of the formula is. I do think that if you again are someone who has an extremely dry skin, then this might actually be good for those no makeup days, and especially if you do like added glow. You can actually see from the formula of this one, the formula has like almost tiny sparkles that you can make out. If you don't like that in your base products, then maybe steer away from this one and see that if there are other like this sort of glowy stick products that don't have like individual particles in them. You can't obviously see that. I don't think you're able to see that in the camera, but definitely when you look at the stick and when I swatched this, you could see the sort of individual sparkles. I think that if you are looking for like alternative to the Flawless Filter stick product, then you have the kind of skin type that can handle this kind of product, then I would maybe like try this out. This isn't the most long-lasting thing. For example, on the days that I have been wearing this for work, because I've been trying out this over a week, this will definitely, even with the help of concealer that I am using, for example, today, to sort of bring some added coverage that I need. In a long day, I could clearly see that on halfway through the day, it had definitely like started wearing off around the nose and around the chin area. So don't expect anything too long, sort of long term with this one. But again, if this is the kind of product that suits your skin type and you want to sort of try something that's a bit more inexpensive than the original Charlotte Tilbury product, then I would still maybe give this a go, but just be aware that the base of this is quite of a greasy feeling base. Then let's go to the cheap products, and again I'm wearing both of these so you can now again judge that how well these are showing up. So first one, let's talk about the Melted Sun liquid bronzer. First of all, I'm gonna give Catrice credit that this had warm and cool tone shades. I obviously picked up the cool tone one, so mine is the 005 Tan Lines, and this was the lightest shade. I do have to say this is a bit of a very light formula. When I swatched this out, and I do have a swatch shorts on my channel, so if you want to just see swatches alone from all of these products, there I do have a short video for that one. But I really had to build this up quite many times to get it to show up, and now I'm actually gonna turn around so you can kind of maybe see that. You can like make your own judgment, because I did layer this a couple of times, and when you do layer this a few times, I do think that it does show up. But I was kind of thinking that could this be maybe because I have heard that the Makeup by Mario, they do have a liquid like this sort of liquid bronzer or liquid like contouring product that I have seen from other people saying that it's very light coverage. So I don't know that is this supposed to be like maybe something similar to that one. Obviously the packaging and formulas are very different and the price points are very different, but because I was really initially when I tried this out and I layered this the first time, I really had to like look on my cheek and see that okay, but do I have actually any product on my cheek? Luckily when you did put the second layer, then it was quite visible. But I do think that if you have been sort of afraid of this contouring or liquid bronzing products because you're afraid that you're gonna get too much pigment, then I would actually go with this one, because I do feel the formula is very easy to blend in. It doesn't create like any harsh streaks or lines on your cheek or skin area, depending where you want to use this kind of product. And I do think that there is definitely a user base for this kind of product, and because I do think these very sharp contouring lines haven't been trendy for some years now. So I do think that this is quite often still, even though I did have to build this up, I actually do like this, and I do also think that the undertone of this fits quite well. And I'm actually quite happy that I do have now a sort of good cream contour product from Catrice, because I did try their contouring stick from the spring edit last year, and I wasn't a fan of that one. The formula was very stiff and hard to work with, so compared to that one, this is definitely better. And if you're looking for this more buildable contouring bronzer product, then I would look into this one. Then similarly, I got the new shade in the AirBlush blushes, and this is in the shade 140 Pink Lemonade. Again, this is something that I'm wearing today, so again, you can do your own judgment that is it showing up. I will have to say, I was actually a bit surprised that this really, even on my skin tone, I need to build this one up quite a lot for get this to show up. Unlike with the contouring shade, because with that one I was able to actually get it to show up when I layered it a bit more, but with this one I truly feel that it is probably... It's a quite white-based peachy pink shade. I don't think even I have a huge blush collection. This is actually a pretty unique shade, but compared to the other blushes in this series, I do feel that with this one I really needed to build this up quite a lot to get it to show up at least a little bit on my skin. If you are someone who has, for example, medium skin or skin tone anywhere deeper than that, I would not actually recommend getting this one, because even on a fair skin, this takes quite a lot of work to show up. I do like the shade once I am able to get this to show up, and the formula in terms of like how easy this is to blend and work with is very on par with the other blushes that I do have within this same line, but it's just that I'm a bit like baffled because on the pan this actually doesn't look that light either. So I'm just thinking that okay, maybe something with the formulation with this one just didn't go right. So this perhaps I'd say is one of the few products in this one that I'm thinking that maybe like they did bring out another shade that's a bit deeper, so maybe if you're thinking about buying a new shade from the two shades that they had in this launch, then maybe go with the deeper shade that they had, because unfortunately for me this was kind of a disappointment, and I will have to use this bit more and think about that, is this something that I actually want to keep in my collection, because I don't feel that this is working out for me, and considering how many blushes I have, I don't think that, like, I don't need to keep blushes in my collection that I feel that are too much work for me. Okay, then the eyeshadow, and with this one you're gonna be seeing in here the like 3 demo looks, which is one is them that I'm wearing today, and then swatches. So they did bring out a new palette. They are now have been doing more of these smaller palettes. They used to do these. They had the Slim Pro line that were also rectangular, but those were in a cardboard packaging and they were a bit longer. They did redo that line, but I wasn't such a fan of the redo line, and I actually did end up trying these palettes the first time. I think it was in the fall-summer edit during last year. So the previous palette that I tried from this line, it was called Peony something. It was this pink gray themed palette that I named the sort of Barbie 2000s Barbie palette, and I was quite excited, but I was pretty disappointed with the palette quality. I am actually happy to say that with this particular palette, I do feel that the shadow quality is actually much better, because with the other previous palette that I tried from this line, I had the issue that the shades kind of blended away when you tried to do any kind of blending with them, and it was just quite meh altogether. With this one, the shades definitely do build up, and I'm actually gonna now pop in the image so you're gonna see the looks. You aren't gonna get like super lot of diversity with this one, and something that I do have to say that there are like 2 shimmers that in the swatches that you can see. So these 2 ones over here. And these look very sparkly, and they did look very sparkly when I swatched them out, and they look sparkly in the image, but actually on the eyes you can probably see it from the looks. The sparkle sort of disappear. Especially I think with this more deeper shimmer shade over here, I used it in the smokier look that you're able to see in the images. the sparkles kind of disappeared. So with this one, if you're buying this, I do think that this is definitely better quality eyeshadow that Catrice has altogether done. I have tried quite a few of their palettes and the shadow quality hasn't always been that impressive. But if you're buying this and you're eyeing that, oh, the couple of the shimmers actually look really sparkly, well, the shimmers are more sort of satin leaning once you get them to the eyes. There is a good side to that, that if you have a texture texture on your eyelids, and if you especially like to use brushes, all of these shimmers and shades in general, they do pick up quite well with a brush. But if you're thinking that you're gonna get two of these very sparkly shades, then you might be a bit disappointed. So that's just something to consider. I actually do like the tones of this one, and even though the shimmers aren't as sparkly as on the eyes as the swatches and pans make them look, I do actually like working with this one. And I kind of like the neutral brown tones they chose for this, because I do truly think that this is a palette where the tones are very much in the middle, like true neutrals, where they aren't too warm leaning, but they also aren't like too cool toned leaning. And something that I do appreciate with this one is that, as I said, the previous palette I tried in this line, if you try to pack on and build color and then blend it out, the color disappeared. But with this one, and you can see it from the looks, you were able to get a depth into your looks, which is something that I like in my palettes. So if you like your sort of neutral makeup and you've been eyeing this and you don't mind that the shimmers are maybe more on the satiny side, then I think this is actually something that I would recommend picking up. So then the last of the products. So I got one of these lip products. So what was actually this called? Lip Artist Matte Lipstick and Lip Liner. Again, this is the lip combo I am using today. With this one, what was actually the shade that I got? Because yeah, so this was 010 always together. So this was the more like neutral peachy leaning shade. This actually is quite good of a nude shade on my lips. So with this one, I'm just gonna show what we are talking about so you can kind of get a better impression. So you can see there's the liner and then you have the lipstick. I do have to say I like the lipstick side, but the lip liner side I'm not such a big fan of. First of all, especially the lip liner side, it feels it's a bit maybe hard to show it in the camera, but the lip liner like packaging, this feels very light, very cheap. I'm a bit afraid with the lip liner to push too hard with this one, because it feels very like flimsy when you just feel out the sort of packaging that's over the lip liner. The lipstick side of this one, is fine. It's like sturdy. I don't have like any fear that it's gonna break, but the packaging of the lip liner side is the first reason why I'm not such a fan of this one. The second reason why I'm not a fan of the lip liner is that it's a creamy lip liner to the point that it's almost a bit slippery to use, which means that because with a lip liner, I want to use lip liners for the fact that they create precision to my lip line, and it helps like putting on the lipstick when you have a clear, like precise line around your lips. With this one, because it's like almost to the point where it's so slippery that you have to be careful how you use this one, it kind of makes this a bit difficult to use. So I have been able to make this work, but the lip liner side of this one, I do feel that the liner formula, I maybe would have wished that it would have had maybe a bit more grit. Not saying that it should be stiff, but maybe not so creamy that it feels that I'm like having to be very careful with the application of not having it to slide around a place that I don't want it to show up in. The lipstick, on the other hand, it's a good bullet matte lipstick. I do think Catrice knows how to do good bullet matte lipsticks. I have tried, I have like one of their bullet matte, like regular line bullet matte lipsticks on my sort of makeup collection. So I was, how should I say, if this would have been disappointing, then I would have said, I've been thinking that what is Catrice doing, because I know that they can do a good lipstick altogether. So I think with this product, I don't usually do these double-sided lip products because I always feel that their execution isn't the best. And again, I would maybe have been just happy if they would have wanted to release like slim lipsticks, and I could have done like without the lip liner. But the lipstick side, no complaints. The formula is good. I do like this shade. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the shade because When these launched on Boozy Shop's website originally, it was during the New Year's Eve, and I was like frantically on my phone trying to get some of these products into my cart, but basically everyone else was also trying to get the products in their cart, and some products kept selling out, and I had to like refresh and sort of then end up picking this shade because there was like a very pink shade that I was eyeing, but that managed to sold out before I was able to check out. So it was a hassle, but I do think it's, even though I didn't exactly get the shade I wanted, I do think this was still a very nice shade and it does suit me. So, what are my conclusions about this sort of spring-winter edit update for Catrice? I do think we had mostly like wins. Like, I think the only couple of products that maybe I wasn't such a big fan of were like these two. So this purely because I already knew beforehand that it was going to be a stretch to get this to work on my particular skin type, even though my skin concerns have been a bit on the change. But I think this is also going to be something that it's going to be quick to use up, so I'm not like too disappointed with this one, and it's, as I said, it's going to be quick to use up. The blush, though, this perhaps was like the biggest disappointment because I haven't had previously issues with this formula, but for some reason it probably is just the shade. So I think if I would have bought the deeper shade that they had in this line, probably that would have worked out as well as the previous blushes I have bought in this line. So it's probably just this shade then, because it's a very white based peachy pink shade, so that's probably why this isn't working for me. But I think all the other products were pretty good, and I do think there are like truly, I think one of my, I think if I would have to say what were my favorite products, it would probably be the concealer and the liquid contour. I do think like if you're thinking that what were like the best of the products that I tried from this Catrice launch, it would be the serum concealer and the liquid contour or bronzer, however you want to treat this kind of product. I think these two were like definitely the ones that in the future, for example, if I run out of concealer, then I'm definitely, for example, probably going to be rebuying this concealer. But comment down below, what did you overall think about the different products Catrice launched, and also have you any thoughts about the Essence launch? I made the decision that I'm not going to be buying anything from Essence's this winter-spring launch because there simply were not products in the launch that I was interested in, so I don't need to clutter my collection with things that I already know that I won't be using. But if you have gotten something from either of the Catrice or Essence launches, comment down below what did you think about the products you tried, or if you haven't gotten anything yet, then what kind of products are you perhaps buying from the collections. If you like this video, push the like button, subscribe to the channel and ring the bell button if you want to get notifications from future content. You can also find me with the same nickname Makeup Hedgehog on Instagram. I hope to see you soon in another video. Bye bye!